Welcome to the Clashing of Steel. And today I am comparing Vengeance to Ad Portas. So I'm simply going to put Hannibal and Germanicus against each other. So before the engagement, let's compare Vengeance and Ad Portas. Vengeance goes heavily on melee weapon damage and melee attack. Melee attack being a hit chance, and melee weapon damage being damage inflicted by a hit. While Hannibal's Ad Portas has similar buffs. Only differences being the reduced melee attack and increased melee defense, while also being a bit slowed. So at first I'm gonna put tier 5s against each other. As you see on the left here, Germanicus has a bit more offense. Only stat in this engagement that is better for Hannibal is the melee weapon penetration damage. On tier 5, all of my offense statistics are inferior compared to the Romans. In the first two engagements, we are not going to use Vengeance, any abilities, any charges, any commander skills. We're just going to let the infantries fight infantries. We want to compare the differences of these infantries, if their offense and defense and health matter. We can also see that Romans have more defense than I have. The only thing that is better for the Carthage sword infantry is the health. I am superior there, but it does not seem to make that much of a difference. At first, it may have appeared that the infantries are doing rather well. They may have lost health equally and so, but right now you can already see a small difference. The Carthage sword infantry can't overcome that Roman defense and offense that they inflict. Even tier 6 Carthage and Roman sword infantry seem to be doing pretty much the same way. Now on statistics I do have more offense, weapon damage, melee attack and so. While the defense of the Romans is just so much bigger. There isn't a huge change in melee defense, which is practically trying to block the melee attack. But there is a huge difference in shield melee defense. You can actually see that the defense is pretty much 100 points apart, meaning that the shield melee defense value is just huge. There is also a small difference on the health. Basically, opponents just have a bit more body armor than my units. It doesn't count as that significant in this scenario, but it might have been more important if I would have fought against armored Legionaries. So the tier 5 outcome seems to be pretty close. They also don't have a lot of difference with the health stat. I have just a bit more body armor and shield armor, nothing else. So we can already see that Romans have won these fights, they have won these engagements. On tier 5 and 6 both. I did make significant damage against them. But in the end, well, I have to say I did really well, I wasn't expecting this. I was actually hoping to get annihilated pretty much in the middle of it, like if I would have got Romans in half. I may have not killed that many Romans or that many opponents, but at least I killed a huge number of them. They have 29 soldiers left and less than 20% of their original health. So the tier 6 infantry had pretty much the same outcome as tier 5. So the Romans have also around 20% of their unit left and 38 soldiers. Which means that Romans are still superior, but not incredible. And well, now we're going to let loose the Vengeance, Ad Portas and Determination. Everything we have. Stabs and slams. I hate that heavy Roman charge, but okay. So, at first it doesn't look that bad. I mean, I took in a heavy charge, I forgot to charge myself. Focus was a bit shifted and so. At first it may appear that I'm doing some progress against the Romans. That might have been because of the Determination. But now that it is on the cooldown, I rely on Ad Portas and the slam. That extra melee attack is what actually makes a lot of difference here. Romans have a greater chance to inflict damage upon me, and my melee defense and their melee attack value, well, they don't exactly add up. Also, compared to Vengeance, Ad Portas only lasts around 60 seconds. Perhaps what bothers me here the most is that Vengeance and Ad Portas, they amplify the slam and the stab abilities. Meaning that at least melee weapon damage boosts the strike ability. Perhaps melee attack also increases it a bit, but melee weapon damage is the bigger one. In the end, Germanicus goes heavily on melee attack and melee weapon damage, while Hannibal goes melee weapon damage and melee defense. Hannibal will always be lighter, his infantries are definitely lighter, there is no question about it. And perhaps that is the main difference between the Romans and the Carthage. Romans have a bit more heavier units, they are still medium, while the Carthage has something between light and medium. And that can also be different on different tiers. So even with at Portas, outcome looks kinda the same. Romans had 35 soldiers left and their health was around 20%. But what Hannibal lacks in offense, he makes up with mobility, and in tactical plays he can be more valuable than Germanicus. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and thanks for watching.